Hello everyone, TLSG here, back again with another daily Marvel Snap live stream. I'm sorry for being TLSG that late streamer guy today. I had a couple of things pop up just on the last couple of seconds before I went live, and then that put me behind on making sure everything was in place. I hope that you guys are having a great day today. Actually, let's switch over to the cam view for just a second while we give our introduction spiels. Thank you everyone that jumped in early today. You guys are phenomenal. We're already at 18 likes. I already got called out for forgetting to like my own stream all of the time, which is fair. But thank you guys for being here early. Everyone that's jumped in. We have Alexander, Umais, Harry. We have Dad, Avik. We have Chauncey, Astros, Mayoki's here. Rocky Road. We have Havik. We have Timothy Core, Ivan, American Primate, Toyez. We have Dry, we have Gotham Rogue, we have Kobe, we have so many people, Broncos Guy, Jake, so many people, Akshay, we have so many people that jumped in and joined us early, and I wasn't able to monitor the chat this morning, but thank you guys so much for being here. Christy Gamala, thank you for starting off the stream in the most positive way possible, for continuing your channel membership for a second month. One Alpha didn't get a notification. Still on time, I hope. Yeah, you're actually you're more on time than I think I was. I was 3 minutes late to our own stream, and you are right on time. And so yeah, we have the dog sleeping in the background over here. Let me see why your notification didn't go off. It should have went off. I'll give it just a minute, Christy, but then if not, I'll trigger it manually. But thank you so much for the congrats on 5K. And then we are on our road to 10K. It did take us long enough to get here. Let's go ahead and then we have Q coming in with the Q emoji. Thank you, Q, for continuing your membership for the second month as well. Let's go ahead and switch over into the deck gameplay screen. Maybe the notifications will start popping off here. If not, then I will load up the overlay and figure out what's going on. I'm not sure why they're not triggering. There we go. That was the wrong one. And so we'll see why they're not triggering. If they didn't pop up, then by the end of this game, I'll go ahead and trigger them manually. But thank you guys for being here and just being so incredibly awesome. And yeah, we have the sleeping dog. She's not visible in this one, but she is having a really good nap. And so the video for this deck went absolutely insane. It was one of the best performing lists I've ran in a very long time. And it was really flexible. Like, there were a lot of like strange scenarios that came up, and it still did really, really well. Hockey, how's it going? I'm glad you were able to jump in and join us today. And then we have Dry. You said 5 p.m. stream is imprinted in my brain calendar. No need for notifications anymore. We're making a lasting impact. That's all we can hope for. Let's go ahead and drop our cloak this turn. We don't necessarily need to move any of our cards around. That's more of a failsafe for if we drop our Ebony Maw early. And so next turn we're going to be able to do whatever else we draw into, and then end with a 0 into maybe a turn 4 Typhoid Mary. Seems like it would be a pretty good way to go about it. And then Odabert, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far. David, how's it going? I hope same thing for you. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope that your Monday has started off well. This is actually pretty decent. We have Lizard. We have 0 that we can drop. We can't drop 0 here actually. So whatever we drop after this card in Dark Dimension is going to need to be what we want to have canceled out. We could actually play Typhoid Mary. Well, we can't play Typhoid Mary into Hellfire Club. But whatever we play next is going to get zeroed out in Dark Dimension, not in any of the other ones. Dry, super happy to see all the new players. Yeah, it's been a breath of fresh air. Seeing so many new people in the game and just going through like that beginning stage where they're just having just so much fun in enjoying and experimenting with new cards as they pull them has been so exciting. And so I'm really excited to see what else kind of is around the corner for all of us and for the community, for the game, and for the channel. And so let's go ahead and play our Typhoid Mare. We have a pretty decent one here. We can't really play much in Hellfire Club. They kind of blocked us out of that location. As long as they can't go wide, we'll have Sanctum Sanctorum. Dark Dimension, I think, should swing in our favor, but we'll see. Marksman, how's it going? I'm glad you were able to jump in and join us today. With Destroyer cards, Death, and Taskmaster. Q, is this your first game on the stream so far? Hockey, it is. It is. It's the first game since we started back up. We could do Red Skull into Dark Dimension as kind of like a surprise play. It's probably going to be what we want to go with. Typhoid Mary does get canceled out. I think we wait one turn, though. We're probably not going to get anything. We're going to draw into America Chavez next turn, which won't be able to be played here. It won't be able to be played here. That Goose is pretty restrictive to us. Yeah, Goose is such a hard card. And in most games, I don't think it would be. But since Sanctum Sanctorum is in effect too, it just makes it even more difficult. Yeah, so it's no 4, 5, or 6 cost, or 1 cost can be dropped there. And so Kappa, why not drop Sunspot if we're passing? So we can't drop Sunspot into Hellfire Club. Yeah. In the Dark Dimension, since it won't flip, it won't actually absorb any of the energy. And so if they put 2 cards in Dark Dimension this turn, which they might with Thor, they might play 2 cards. The lowest potential value for Red Skull would end up being 7. And so I guess if they have 3 cards, then the power is 9 because we're giving them 6 power, and so then it's 9. So as long as they play anything here, it's worthwhile to just drop our Chavez. That's going to be a more consistent play. Yeah, I agree, Kappa. Chavez is the better choice. We still might not win this one. This one might be a tough one, depending on if they can push power into Sanctum Sanctorum. If they can't, we might be okay. Oh, well, that Giganto is Giganto is rough. And then the Odin. I don't think we beat 31 power. We have a lot of power in this lane. I do not think it's 31. Toby, hey TLSG, this is so crazy. I was theory crafting this deck before, but instead of Red Skull and Lizard, I had a discard package with Apocalypse. Goal was to 50-50 on turn 6, Apocalypse or Chavez. I've ran a couple of things with the discard package for Dracula. It's just discard got put into a place where it was like their curve is kind of funky. You have to get the perfect draw line to make the discard package work. It's fun whenever it works, and I'm sure it can still be improved upon. And so if you continue theory crafting, you find something that you think works well. I'm excited to see what it is. And then David, I won a game with a Galactus that gave me the District X location, and the animation for Galactus is probably one of the best things that I've experienced in the game so far. It's a little bit sad that it's not available to use more often, but at the same time, if it was used more often, that would be a little bit rough. I think debris would be much more utilized to make sure that the opponent could not use Galactus in many scenarios. Get chilled. I just found you yesterday, and you're doing well. You're John, man. I appreciate it. Get chilled. I'm so glad that you found us. That you are enjoying the content. I started, and I still have a really small creator mentality of I just started and I'm just trying to put whatever video I can out, and just that it's not going to go to a wide audience. Oh, no. Job. No, you're fine. You're fine. Get chilled. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you found the channel and that you're enjoying it so far. And hopefully you continue to enjoy the content. So I'm going to go ahead and play 0 first, since it will get copied. Next turn we can play Ebony Maw. We still have a 0 to drop a Red Skull later. Actually, we can do double Ebony Maw, which is pretty big. We'll go ahead and snap back. We have a double Ebony Maw. We can always do another 0, and we can do a double Typhoid Mary, potentially a double Red Skull. The 0 into Ebony Maw here, especially with Sinister London, is going to be pretty cool. In my opinion, Dracula on turn 6 is so good. For you, Dracula works best on 1-drop deck. Oh, only having 1 target for it? Dracula, he can, but then your power potential, your power ceiling is pretty limited. And so I think it's good. A Dracula Infinite deck can get the job done, but if you don't draw into Infinite, then it kind of limits your power. Yeah, no, Bats and London. It's the magical Christmas land. It is putting a little bit damper on our Christmas plans and celebration with the Atelian location, because we're gonna shuffle these back into our deck. I still think we do something like. Still think we throw down a cloak. We throw down a 0 because we're gonna shuffle back in our cards. We're gonna draw 3 out. Hopefully, we're gonna hope for either a Typhoid Mary, a Lizard, or a Red Skull. To see, yeah. And then Christy Gamala. I bet the Atelian is one of the hated locations. I haven't seen that much hate on it because you usually get a couple of turns kind of prep for it. Some decks it's really rough for, but some is kind of advantageous, and so I haven't seen any like major hate towards it. But yeah, it's not quite to the level of Subterranea. Subterranea gets an awful lot of hate. Yes, because you can't play around Subterranea. You can't play around it, and so it just forces you into that negative effect, and then you just have to deal with drawing rocks for the rest of the game. So I'm thinking we might not drop anything here. If we did, it'd be Enchantress. But that would get zeroed out, and then it'd take away our Red Skull bonus. Or being able to do our Red Skull next turn. I think we just hold. We drop a double Red Skull next turn, and then we kind of see what our power level or what it looks like for that final turn. And then Peak is most of the time bad. I think Peak was really, really bad only whenever it was featured. Because then you have to run a deck that does well with the Peak, or else you're just gonna get short-sighted for most of the game. But after it's been featured, I haven't had a big issue with it, especially since it doesn't like really stop you. So it doesn't turn a Red Skull into a 15 cost 5 power. It does a 6 cost 5 power, which is still bad, but it's still at least playable. Subterranea is your favorite location for rage quits. I'm sure it does force quite a few of those. Same thing with like Ego and District X. You see a lot of quits from those. The Gia, I don't mind the Gia as much because I can choose whether I want to play into it, and so I don't know. I have that autonomy of whether I want to force myself into drawing those additional rocks, or if I just want to play away from that location until the final turn, knowing that I might lose tempo or value in there from the opponent. And so I don't mind the Gia as much. It gives me a strategic choice to make whenever I'm placing my cards. In the Gallagher, I don't just run Infinite in my 1-drop. I actually also use Destroyer. Destroyer's not bad. He's the second highest power, and also introduces two more ways to win that you can feed him Dracula. Yeah, it sounds like a pretty solid list. As long as you have more than one like draw condition. The issue I found with like the ones that just had Infinite was that the games that you don't draw Infinite, you're kind of out of luck. We roped him into submission. That is a +4 into the match. Let me load up my overlay really quick, so that I can trigger your resubs. So I can trigger the notifications for those. I'm not sure why it didn't go off originally. So let's. I have to trigger. I need to trigger them before they disappear, or else I won't be able to. And so I'm here. Actually, it's just the Wong notification, so I don't need to type the text to speech. So let's give you guys. We'll do a custom one for Christy, and then we'll do one for Q as well. Hey, welcome. It took you long enough. There's Christy. Thank you again for the resub. I appreciate it. And then we have Q, the Nemesis, with his resub as well. And then welcome. It took you long enough. And then hopefully this will fix, and we won't have to trigger them manually if any more come through. But let's go ahead and jump into the next one. Snake, thank you so much for subscribing to the YouTube channel. I hope that you enjoy the content and that you're having a great day so far. I appreciate you being here. And then Jeremiah with the 3-month resub. I'm wondering if maybe the notifications just don't pop up for like those resubs, because they triggered whenever the resub happened. You're just able to use a highlighted message at a later point, right? I can re-trigger yours as well, Jeremiah. But you said everyone remember to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. Also, Goose is the best. This is the original Goose guy. I think, Jeremiah, we got our introduction whenever you suggested a double Goose deck, right? So Goose into Mystique so that you could do your death in either one of those locations, right? That list did pretty well, but I think that was the first time we interacted a whole lot. But Alexander, you have to go. Thank you for jumping in and joining us while you could. I hope that you have a great rest of your day, and we will see you in the Discord. Pretty much, yeah, it's a free highlighted message once you resub. That makes sense. And so maybe that's why it's not triggering, because it's not like a new one. Yeah, that was your first time in my Discord, and then everything else was history from there. Do we do Ebony Maw? Actually, we have a cloak, so I think we just do a lizard. We can do Ebony Maw and a cloak next turn to kind of consolidate all of our power wherever we need it to, and I think that should be fine. So we'll just zero out the lizard here. That Goose deck is even better now, by the way. Is it really? I haven't checked it out for a while. Maybe I need to go back and play it a little bit. What a disgusting lane. Oh, and then we get Sinister London as well. Well, we can do a double Ebony. We might push it over into Murder World though. Is the only problem. Are we okay with that? We can do Ebony Maw and we can do Cloak, and then we're gonna have 2 choices of where we move our cards. So I think we actually go with this. This is the second Sinister London in a row, and it's such a weird interaction. I hope that Ebony Maw goes into Wakanda Embassy. It does not. So that one is gonna die, but it's okay. We have Cloak. We're going to be able to move into either Sinister London or Wakanda Embassy, depending on which one we want. So I'm just going to move our Ebony Maw over into the middle location. And then I think a double Sunspot's going to be... It didn't want us to do the double... It told us double Sunspot was not the way. We're gonna do it anyway. We can't. We can't because the Ebony Maw hasn't cleared yet. That makes sense. Do we hold a turn? Do we hold the Sunspot a turn then? We can't drop a card in Sinister London until Ebony Maw has cleared out of that location. So I could do it in Murder World and just like skip and let it absorb that power, or we could wait and have a double Sinister London. But I don't think we're gonna want to wait. I'm going to throw both onto the board in case we get something like a Dracula, or if we draw into our Enchantress, we can do Typhoid Mary and then Enchantress. And this play path, it's going to guarantee where they go. So it's going to go into Sinister London and Murder World. We have a pretty... And then there's the double Dracula, which is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and snap. We know that we're going to have Typhoid Mary and Chavez on that final turn. We're just going to skip on the final turn as well to let Sunspot buff up a little bit. And that's going to pull into some pretty decent cards in both the left and right. Now they might be able to get rid of the rest of their cards to trigger Strong Guy. If so, we might be in trouble. But the double Dracula is always intimidating to see on the board. And then Jeremiah, because now with Goose's Chain... Oh yeah, that's right. The opponents can't usually play into the Goose lane post-wave. That's true. Because it's 5 cost whenever you wave. Or it's 4 whenever you wave, and so now they can't play into it because it goes off of what they are at that time. I definitely want to try it out a little bit, see how it runs. And then Rohit, hey TLSG, how's the day going? So far the day's going pretty well. It started off, I had a great weekend. The Monday hasn't been too terrible. And just overall, it's been a good start to the week. And then Dad, you said, where is Dracula 2? Yeah, the turn hadn't ended, so Sinister London pushes it over. They actually had a pretty big turn by being able to discard 2 cards from Calling Wing there. They still have 3 in hand. So if they get the bonus, that's going to be a 16 power lane here. We're only going to have a 9 power lane here. We should win this one. It just comes down to if we can win this one. Unless we wanted to try to trick it. We could always play the Chavez, move the Nightcrawler over, and then that will draw into Typhoid Mary here, and it'll duplicate the Chavez here. And so that's going to be... We might be able to do it. Don't play anything? Angelo, don't play anything? This is going to double our 9 this way. And it guarantees that it all stacks here. Yeah, Dracula will discard 2 times. But I'm worried about losing one of these locations. So if we play Chavez, that's almost the same thing as if Chavez got discarded over here. And so it's just going to extra stack our power into the right-handed lane. We're about to run out of time. Yeah, left Dracula is going to be 0. We will duplicate the Chavez over. Kraken Null, hey, how's it going? How was your weekend? I hope that you had a great day. Ooh, the Red Skull discard is huge, but it's not oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's more than enough. Oh, Kraken Null. We're up and down with this deck list so far. We lost the first one, we won the second one, we lost the third one to a pretty big Dracula play. Had this Dracula absorbed the 5 instead of the 15, we would have been able to have this push here, but it came down to a coin flip. Yeah, and no matter how we had played that one out, with the way that it fell, it was a loss. I thought we matched up against Q. I saw the avatar, and that was like the first thing in my mind was that we're matching up against Q, and we're gonna go super negative. But maybe this is the deck that we can use to triumph over Q today. And then Dad, you said, I didn't realize Dracula discard didn't automatically add to both cards. Yeah, so it does it one at a time. It does it, I believe, in order of play. It'll discard and then discard the other. American, I just unlocked Sunspot, and he's quickly become one of my favorite cards. You made some really sneaky plays with him to steal cubes. Yeah, he is especially in pool 2, he is really, really valuable. If you can avoid like a Killmonger or an Electra, he's really, really strong. And so definitely utilize him to your advantage. I like sneaking him into like a storm lane or a lane that you can no longer play cards into as a way to help buff that up and push it over the edge. And then Christy, yeah, Washington, D.C. is really good with 0. We can use 0 and then do like a Red Skull and just push some really big power over there. Actually, this is pretty good too. I think we all in the Gamma Lab location. Now, I think that they are running a Patriot list. And so they may play some cards in Gamma Lab. We have Enchantress to be able to counter their Patriot play. So I think it would be okay. We have Cloak if we ever wanted to move them around, but then they potentially move theirs around as well. And so we'll see. They're going to get 3 Hulks. We're going to get 3 Hulks. And then we'll kind of play from there. Dennis, I love this game, but I'm still trying to get used to how to play cards. Because I find myself losing games that I thought I won because they know the combos to play on the locations. And Dennis, this is... I think it's something that you'll kind of acquire over time. Like watching streams, watching content. Is that Ballandock? Oh, it came through here as... Yeah, Ballandock, The Paper, and Vinicio. Thank you so much for subscribing to the YouTube channel. But Dennis, as far as like, learning those combos, I think it comes with time. Being able to anticipate, like what that potential play would be, you'll get there. I have no doubt that you'll get there given enough time. Cloak with Hulks is gonna be spicy. It is gonna be pretty spicy. I am kind of afraid to drop it on the last turn though. I almost want to drop it maybe now, and then we can move a couple of them over. I don't know. That feels bad. We're just gonna go ahead and drop Dracula. into Nova Roma. And then see what they drop. Okay, so they do go ahead and drop their Patriot, which is good. That gives us a target for our Enchantress. I think we wait one turn before we do that, though. And so if we drop Cloak this turn, I almost don't want to drop Cloak in Washington, D.C. Actually, we could move more over there than they can. So we'll get more upside from Washington, D.C. I think we drop Cloak. We move all 3 Hulks out of Gamma Lab. We just leave this one alone. We move them here. We stack all 3 here, and then we Enchantress on the last turn. Dracula will either absorb into Typhoid Mary, a Chavez, or a Red Skull. I think we're okay. Let them fill space and then use Hulk. Yeah, I think that's going to be a pretty good play in Washington, D.C. We're going to get quite a bit of upside from that Gamma Lab, which is phenomenal. Debris hurts a little bit, but it is okay. We're still going to be able to move 2, and then they won't be able. Yeah, Christy, what if they move Patriot? That'd be the very ungreedy play, but I think we. Yeah, never mind. They capped it out. Oh, it'd be so funny if they moved Patriot. Q. I think we have different. Definitions of funny. I think it'd be sad. I would cry. I wouldn't cry. I'd be a little bit upset. I'd laugh at it though, if they moved it kind of into that lane. But that's a really non-greedy play. Like, I think anybody would move more power in there, given the slot, or at least I would. I'd move more power. It'd be really hard for me to move Patriot over. But let's go ahead and drop our Enchantress. I think this should be a pretty easy win. This should be an easy lane. This should be a pretty big power lane as well. And I don't think we have any issues with this one. So they have the Onslaught. That is right now going to duplicate their Patriot, but what they don't know is we have an Enchantress waiting. Patriot decks are so scary to run because it's so contingent on your opponent just not having Enchantress. If they have Enchantress, then it's always like a hard counter. And it's an easy way to lose a lot of 8-cube games if you're not anticipating it. And so that one we will bump us up to a +6, which is a good start. A good start to the day. Right now we're 50-50 back and forth. But yeah, the Enchantress on turn 6 always hurts so bad whenever I run a Patriot deck. Because it's very little you can do to avoid it. You can take a little bit less power by dropping something like Invisible Woman, but it is difficult to navigate around. And then Binks plays. You got a new avatar profile picture. I like it. I like it. How's your day going, Binks? I noticed you were streaming. I think it was last night. I tuned in for just a little bit and lurked, but then logged off and started working on a few things on the background. But I hope your stream last night went well. Harry, Mr. Positive Streamer today. We're trying to be Mr. Positive Streamer to start the week. We ended the week, I think, negative. So we're trying to start the week in a positive way. What about a Cosmo on the lane you want to drop Patriot? That can be okay as well, but it's a little bit higher in curve. And then if you want to partner that with like a Mystique can no longer trigger in the Patriot lane. And so and then you're taking away additional slots that could be vanilla cards. And so it's like it's a very weird balancing mix of if you think your opponent's going to drop that or not. I kind of want to just drop Ebony Maw this turn, because we do have the Cloak queued up. And so I'm going to drop Ebony Maw into Miniaturized Lab. We may even just leave it there, because they're not going to be able to play anything extra there until turn 6. 90 BPR. I'm collection level 224, and since I got rank 70, I'm starting to see a lot of people with a lot of cards I don't even have. So I was wondering, how does the matchmaking system work in terms of balance? It's mixed on a couple of different factors. It's mixed on a little bit of your rank, a little bit of your collection level. So the higher you get, so if you just cracked into pool 2, you'll start matching up against people that are also in pool 2. And so it's something to kind of be aware of right before you jump into pool 3. Because once you get there, it's open season. You're going to be seeing that all over the place. And actually, Miniaturized Lab is going to switch with Starlight Citadel. And you said Cloak is so underutilized. Yeah, it's... And I usually don't use it as much because I get really greedy with it really quick. I tend to hold it a lot longer than I should. And I don't even know why. I want to try to find like the most optimal play for it, and I usually end up holding it until like the very end of the game or just not dropping it at all when it's really inefficient. And so I'm trying to use it a little bit better. Never understood why Cloak is so overstated for a 2-drop. Because it gives some, for me, it's because it gives some ambiguity. Words are tough today, guys. It gives you, it's hard to know exactly what that follow-up play is going to be, because you give the opponent the option to make those moves as well. So it's hard to read exactly what is going to happen. I think we're fine just leaving Ebony Maw, Sunspot, and Cloak. The locations are going to switch after this turn. We're either going to have to play cards here or here. And we have our Dracula, we have Enchantress for those kind of final couple of turns that we can drop on the board. It looks like they're running either a Sarah list or something that just goes really wide, so more of an aggro-based list. A lot of times we can outpace and outpower those. Well, Killmonger one is tough. Now all we have is Cloak. I forgot that this list runs Killmonger. We leaned a little bit too heavily on 2/1 cost cards. And we paid for it. And so now we have to drop a card here this turn. I'd rather use Cloak turn 5 since most of their locations will be filled by then. Yeah, and that can be a play as well. That way you can maneuver power. It just, I don't know. It just kind of depends on preference. And with this list and with an Ebony Maw, I think it's a really cool addition to be able to like make more use out of your Ebony Maw and be able to play cards in that other lane as well. And then Kraken, I can't wait to have more move cards. Yeah, I agree. I know that you're a big fan of the move archetype, and so I'm sure that you're patiently waiting. I think we play Enchantress here. It blocks the Lizard from getting the downside. We can do a Dracula somewhere next turn, which will draw into a 9 or a 10 cost. Or actually, we could just play the 9 cost as well. Like, we wouldn't even have to rely on the Dracula at that point. And then Angelo, do you think devs will split pool 3 into multiple pools before adding new pools? I don't think so. I think they're going to leave it as is, and then just add on to it. I just don't know what collection level they will lock it in at, because once they add pool 4, that will lock in a set range for collection 3 to be completed. So I'm curious to see what they're going to add in or how they're going to implement that. And then Marvel Snap Hero, you said at 90 BPR, was about to ask the same thing. In my case, my collection was powered, was 226. Yeah, once you crack into pool 2, you start matching against pool 2 people. Pool 3, the same thing. And so yeah, it's something to definitely be aware of as you go in. So we actually Enchantress their Professor X, so we could push more power here, but then we lose these other 2 lanes. We stayed in this probably longer than we should have, given the big Killmonger play. Let's jump out of that one. Let's reset and jump into a new one. And then Ali, you said I'm level 57 ranked, and I feel I'm playing against pool 2 heroes because I don't have access to them yet. What collection level are you, Ali? Because it depends on a couple of things. It depends on your MMR, which most of that is going to be determined and set after your first season. So from my free-to-play account, like for the first season, I high rolled it, and I was going against bots and lower tier people that were just starting, and it felt great. And then that next season, I was going against the same people as I play on my main account because the MMR like aligned and started matching up. And so it depends on a couple of factors. But if your collection is 218, yeah, so I think you just cracked into pool 2, and so you'll start matching up against pool 2 people. And so yeah, it's tough for a little bit. Just hang in there, complete your dailies, complete what you can, and then you'll eventually get those pieces. And so you'll get there soon enough. I think we drop our Sunspot into the far right lane. We can go ahead and do Nightcrawler as well. And then we can just kind of sit on the energy. We have Cloak if that's for some reason a really bad location. We have Cloak to be able to pull them out in like a Hail Mary. But Binks, you said it's interesting not seeing Venom in a list. Is Dracula the sub for him different flavor for him for different flavor? Yeah, Binks, I always struggle to use Venom because it's a 3 cost that you don't gain any momentum from. You don't really gain anything additional besides consolidating your power. At that point, you could do like a Taskmaster or an Arnhem Zola. But if you don't do either of those, it becomes a really big Shang-Chi target. And so Dracula is safe from Shang-Chi. It doesn't get impacted by the Red Skull's negative ability or the Typhoid Mary. And so for me, I think it's a pretty cool kind of sub to it. And then Yami, I saw your updated list. You said Calling Wing and Miles works well as well because we have quite a few move components like sub move. Oh my gosh, I roped. And then Chauncey, thank you for the call out. If you guys like the stream, make sure to hit the like. I got called out and for never remembering to like the stream before the stream even started, which was probably one of the most accurate things I've ever seen because I'm probably the worst at remembering to like the stream. I don't really want to copy Angel. I want him out of my hand though. Maybe we copy Dracula next turn. We can do Dracula into the cloning vats, Dracula into the Superflow. That'll kind of let us coast for the last couple of turns to push some extra power into the Sunspot lane. Marvel Snap Hero, like hit. Thank you so much. I appreciate the likes. Likes where possible. I did see we jumped just a little bit. And then you said, I don't know if I should do some dailies or stay here. So like the collection range that you are, you can do your dailies and just hoard your credits. You can stack them up to a max of 5,000. And so if you're not close to that, there's no harm in building your credits because that won't push your collection any further. So what I do is I build up to like that max, and then I go on a spending spree and just upgrading my cards in rapid succession. But that's what works for me. And then Sasha, I didn't know Enchantress could cancel Professor X. It's very, very rare. So Professor X has to flip first, and your Enchantress had to be played on the same turn. So it's very unlikely to happen. But when it does, it's always really funny. Oh yeah, the cloned Mary will still be silenced. So she'll still be a 10 power 4 cost card that they can throw pretty much anywhere. Oh, so Yami, you took out Sunspot. I knew you took out Lizard, but I didn't know which other one you took out. Yeah, last turn. Oh, yeah, last game I got absolutely destroyed by Killmonger. Hopefully it's not the same thing here. I don't know. The 0 Red Skull list, they don't typically run them, right? And they have a Venom. I think they're gonna outpower us here. That's one location where Venom does have favor, is like a Nidavellir location or cloning vats, because now they have a 14 power Venom in hand and they can just keep dropping him. Like there's not really a whole lot of, I don't think, reason for us to keep pushing this one, because we will most likely lose it. They have the cheap Typhoid Mary. They have the 14 power Venom that they could drop here again and then drop in one of the other lanes as a huge push. But since they haven't snapped, we'll go ahead and see what they play. So it's the Demon and then it's the big Venom, which is going to be massive. There's no winning that right lane. Tiandre, how's it going? You said less than a week in and I'm rank 49. Making my way along nicely. I felt I've had an edge going into every match by knowing what cards are out there. That's amazing. I'm so glad that you're finally able to jump in and that you're enjoying the game. But they just dropped Demon on the right side, Yami, right? But Challenger, I'm so glad that you're enjoying the game. What collection level are you? I'm wondering if we should just pass here and let Sunspot absorb some energy. Hope that this Dracula pulls into something nice. They have a free 10 power card. Did they have two demons? They played one over here. I know they have another 0, so they could push 13 power here, which actually matches the best that I could do. Well, I could drop Mary, but then we're only going to tie in this lane. Because Sunspot would have to come up over in power. We're not going to win both of them. We're gonna jump out of this one before we mess around and lose one extra cube. Zola coming for the Venom. It could be, yeah. It could be to push some big power to the left as well. We don't know the patch date. Good chance it's later today or tomorrow. I would I would think if there was a patch, it'd probably be tomorrow. It seems like Tuesday or Wednesday is kind of the flow or the pattern that they've been going with. So I would expect it maybe then. And that, I don't know. That would be my guess. I haven't seen anything to hint at that other than we've just released and they hinted at battle mode and a couple other big things coming soon. Ethan, I don't know if there would be a patch. If so, I think it would be something small. They had a lot of things that were hinted at. So like friendly mode and a few other things. We're still waiting on a card acquisition method. And I think those are they have to be right around the corner. But we just don't know when. Wodar, how's it going? I'm glad you're able to jump in and join us. Tiandra, you said 170 collection. I'm about 4 points from making Spider-Woman Infinite. Huge. Which will push you to 180. That's huge. Actually, I need to focus and actually play a card. And then Marvel Snap here. What does Mary do? So she has an ongoing effect that will give all of your other cards -1. And so the Sammy Samurai King, you said thank you. Are you talking about the gift card? Because I know that I finally was able to get that over to you, and I'm sorry that it took so long. But I'm glad that we were able to finally figure it out and make it happen. Timothy, it's okay. Q will understand if you rope him. But Typhoid Mary, she gives all of your other cards on the board -1 power. So it becomes a pretty bad effect if you can't cancel it out. Oh, wow. Elysium and Project Pegasus. Well, okay. We get a huge Sunspot. Hopefully he's not running a Killmonger. If he's running a Killmonger, that's tough. Otherwise, thank you, JV, for subscribing to the YouTube channel. I hope that you enjoy the content, and I hope that you're having a great day so far. So Sunspot's going to be massive. We just have to hope that he can't get destroyed. Now it's Q. He probably has a lot of strong counters. But let's go ahead and play. Let's go ahead and play it into the far right lane. I think we hold the others for now, just to get a better read on what location is going to be the one that we want to push for. And so he has a Typhoid Mare. He's running the Venom version of the deck, and so so now we're running into a lot of the Venom versions. So if he has something sneaky like a Taskmaster or an Arnim Zola, it's really hard to beat that power level and the power output that they can do. But this matches up against other decks well. But yeah, the Taskmaster is going to be massive. Venom's not gonna, or Enchantress isn't gonna do us any good this game. We can always drop Red Skull, but we have Dracula. I think we just hold for now again. Or maybe we drop Enchantress to cancel out the Lizard. We could drop Red Skull and then cancel it out here. Which maybe we do. Negative cubes. Oof. Yeah, we may be negative after this one. Let's go ahead and drop our Red Skull. We'll drop Enchantress after that. Dracula's gonna have at least, okay, there comes the Arnim Zola as well, which is rough. But that gives him a weaker Shadowland lane, at the very least. Now, he could have a massive... yeah, it's negative cubes. He might have a big Taskmaster coming in, but I think it would copy the 0 instead of the massive 24. Can you zoom that Zola variant? Yeah. It's a pretty good looking... oh, no, oh my gosh. You said Arnhem Zola. I zoomed Venom. So this is this is Arnhem Zola. Venom with the championship. Yeah, the Venom is massive. This one's the Arnhem Zola. Let me figure out a play really quickly. I think we do Angela here, and we just Enchantress this lane. We can move Nightcrawler out and push it over if we need to. We have Dracula for the Chavez, or just play the Chavez outright. Because Elysium, we're able to just push so many cards and so much power. That Red Skull is unfortunate. Buffed up the Venom. Oh yeah, you're right, it did. And so they used a wave last turn. What are they gonna do? Are they gonna do a? Is Q gonna do a death Taskmaster on us? Could he be? Could this be that high roll of a deck? That'd be very curious and Q-like. So, I mean, that seems like a really hard thing to swallow. That he has all of these high power cards. I mean, it could. It's Q. So like the Arnhem Zola with the Typhoid Mary, but also having Death and Taskmaster, maybe. Well, I mean, we're gonna play it out. We're gonna see. Right now, we're winning in this lane. We're winning in this one. We're losing in this one. I think we. Where do we push more power? I think we lose. I think we lose this one for sure. But I'm curious. We could play the Dracula over here, but not playing him is going to give us more power than playing him, even with the Angela buff. Or maybe we leave this one here. We play it in the Chavez lane. That seems... Drop Dracula instead for Sunspot. 1 alpha. Drop Dracula instead for Sunspot. They're both the same. They're both the same cost right now because of wave. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the Doc Ock is fine. The Taskmaster is not fine. Just barely not fine. Oh no. Not what we were expecting. We were expecting the Taskmaster, but not the Doc Ock Taskmaster. Q showing us business today. We are now -5 streamer for the day. Yeah. The 2 difference is massive, and we even pushed as much power as we could with the Chavez there. It just wasn't quite enough. Q, are you back in? Yeah, that one's a big oof. That one's a big oof. The deck is not performing as well as I made it out to on the video. I got so many wins in such a consistent manner that now I feel like I feel like I lied. I promise I didn't, but I feel like I did. Q, yeah, that was a very good game. I was really expecting a Death and a Taskmaster just to absolutely just destroy all of the remaining hope that I had. That was a... Without Elysium, I feel like that would have been really top-heavy. I mean, it worked. Who am I to say anything? It worked very well. It definitely showed me what was going on. Streaming versus recording is different, probably, and it depends too. I always wonder if the video helps shape the meta a little bit. So like whenever I was recording, I didn't see any of the Venom Red Skull matchups, but now we're seeing it a little bit more often. It kind of like pushes it back at the top of people's mind. and so maybe that influences it as well. The Death has no deck. Wave is to drop Red Skull on 4, to Venom on turn 5, and Zola on 6. Man, you destroyed us. You destroyed us. That one wasn't even close. Like, do you off the top of your head, do you know how many? I know that you keep track of like how many you've won versus me. I know that you've won more than I've won. It was getting close for a little while, but I think you have taken the lead now at this point. So the storm is unfortunate. Had we dropped Cloak over there, it would have been good, but I don't really want to drop Typhoid Mary. That's going to impact all of our other cards, and we won't be able to get rid of it. So we'll just drop Typhoid Mary and Xandar. We'll leave Sunspot as is, and then we'll see. We'll go into the final turn, and we'll see. 29-23. Oh, the gap is widening. I thought I had it within a couple of matches at one point. But yeah, your decks are always like really like surprising in turns. And so it makes it hard to anticipate. And then Bo Shabab, thank you for the subscription, and JV, if I didn't shout it out, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel as well. So the wave will let us drop our. We could do a Red Skull. Do we want to push that much power over here? That'll force us into an Enchantress on the final turn, an Enchantress and a Nightcrawler. Which maybe we do. We'll try it. It's a really stacked Xandar lane, like probably too stacked. But that Hobgoblin was awfully bold, but it just destroyed us. It's going to be another retreat, guys. -6. We're going to get an 8-cube game here. Queued up next. I feel it. I feel it coming. I feel it coming. We've had a stretch of bad luck. This deck, overall, like I experimented with this one a little bit longer than what I do with most decks, and I had about a 65% win rate, which is, for the most part, pretty good. And it had a good cube gain as well. We just been getting outmatched, outmaneuvered. We do have Elwolf again, which they're the one that just beat us. We're gonna snap off the TVA. This deck does have a pretty stacked low a low curve, and so I knew that we'd be able to flood a lot of power onto the board by the time TVA ended. Now they could have stormed it, but at that point we already stacked quite a bit of power. We might be able to curve into our end game as well, and so it's just a hope on their part. And so that's one way to get an easy win. If we can get a few more of those, we just need that 5 more times, and we will be neutral. We'll be net neutral. And then again, thank you guys for being here and enjoying this lunch live stream. This is if you didn't know, I'm sure that you probably saw it. We hit 5,000 subscribers, which is the next huge milestone that we were up against for the channel. When I started it, I was blown away at our first 10, 100, 1,000, and I remember seeing Binks hit 1,000 whenever I was at like 300, and I was like, I didn't think we were ever going to get there, and we hit 1,000. We hit Marvel Snap Hero. You have 2 subscribers. That you got. Everybody starts somewhere. Marvel Snap. Everybody starts somewhere, and they're probably the 2 best subscribers you could ever ask for. But I didn't think we were going to be able to grow as much as we have, and so I appreciate all of the help that I've had along the way, and just you guys being here as viewers. So I think we start off with an Angela in Central Park. Death's Domain is a little bit interesting. We can always drop a cloak and sacrifice the cloak, and then we can move those cards over, which is an okay way to force some power into Death's Domain. So if we outcurve them in one of these other lanes, we can always do that to push more power than they can get in Death's Domain. Usually that'll be enough to win it for us. Ooh, they probably running a Hella list. But Friars, you said yesterday with Kamartaj, I went from rank 70 to 91 with a Wong reveal deck, which was awesome. Yeah, I actually played a little bit on Sulky Hulky yesterday, which felt phenomenal. And I was finally able to do some pretty consistent climbing, which again was phenomenal. I used something very similar. I used a Wong and a Lockjaw rotation. It was similar to the deck that I featured, just made some adjustments for cards that I didn't have, and it felt phenomenal. My favorite play was to do Wong into Ironheart into Odin on the Kamartaj lane, which I know Binks, if Binks is still here, he was milling all day. That is the Binks special. It is the mill and destroy for sure, and so I was having fun with the on reveal and triggering Ironheart like 16 times on that final turn to push 48 power onto the board, which was really hard to counter or max. Binks, you are still here. I still giggle at you shooting your shot with Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know why why I was so tickled by that. But I was. It stuck with me. You've made a lasting impression on me. The Enchantress into the unknown to Iron Man is pretty big. That's going to give us the Nidavellir lane. They should have anticipated a potential Enchantress with us having Typhoid Mary there. We'll take it, though. You were watching Molt stream. He got 400 viewers. Yeah, Molt has been absolutely exploding. Over the weekend, he did a couple of like beginner videos. And I sent him a message and congratulated him. He, going into Friday, he was just hitting 4K, and I was almost at 5. He blasted past 5,000 before we did. He had a video take off to like 20,000 views in 24 hours. It was massive. He had a huge weekend, and so he's able to hold that momentum. And I'm really happy he's been able to push. And yeah, he has over 1 million subs, but I think it's just experience. He knows what content does well at what time, and I think he's able to capitalize on that, which is huge. Big props to him for being able to like make that happen. And he's always so positive. In any of my interactions with him, he's always been so positive and supportive of like all of the content creators. And so it's bittersweet. Like you want to see growth of your own, but you also want to be there to help support and help support your other content creators. And so him pushing that fast is phenomenal. So our Dracula is actually going to lose. It's not going to pull into anything in limbo, or it is, but it's just not going to be great. Do we win Death's Domain? This version of the Hela deck list is kind of odd. It has Magic, it has Calling Wing, Iron Man. I don't think it's out of the question for them to have a Jubilee. I think we risk it. Yep, rising tides raise all the ships. Yeah, and so just like the increased viewership, it has been great for so many people already. And then yeah, Yami, Molt going to Comic-Con, his video on like the behind the scenes was so well done that just I was blown away. His ability to be able to kind of make those shorter kind of cut videos, I think that one helped bring that momentum in, and all the best. But increased viewership for one helps increase that interest. It means the game is doing well. It means everyone will start seeing additional views and pushes. So only great things as Marvel Snap continues to grow. I know Jeff has been popping off as well. I know that. Oh wait, how many cubes was that? I wasn't even paying attention. It was 2, right? So -3. I know Jeff Hoogland over the weekend was similar to Molt. He absolutely exploded with a couple of like the videos that he released, and he's been grinding for a long time. So I think these are well deserved. And one day Binks, that'll be you. One day it'll be me, and we'll be there congratulating each other as it happens. They're pushing tons of videos for new players. Yeah, Astros, you're right. And those have been doing really well in the algorithm. Marvel Snap, you're doing great, man. Honestly, the content creator I like the most. Thank you so much, Marvel Snap Hero. I appreciate it. And I got our growth, and I think with that said, with everyone seeing some big growth, I don't want that to like shine over the growth that our channel has had. The channel since launch for me for this channel has been huge. Like I'm more than happy with what we've done. Like more or less, if we stay where we're at, I continue to say that I'm happy. Like this has already gone beyond what I ever thought it could. And so here's just a ride to see where we end up in the long run. And I think Marvel Snaps is going to be here for a long time. And so there's plenty of time to, refine some content and do some really great things. Oh, David, you said you're 1 cube away from reaching infinite and you lost -8 3 times. David, I say this with as much respect as possible. Take a break for a couple of games. You might not feel like you're playing differently, but odds are you probably are. Even if it's the slightest bit, you're probably playing at least a little bit more aggressive or differently with a couple of those losses underway. And so I would say take a break for maybe 30 minutes or so, and then step back in, or maybe try a different deck. That works often. A lot of times that works for me as well. If maybe I'm getting too frustrated with one deck, switching to maybe a different archetype can have some good results too. Sometimes you'll even match up against different people. Even I got growth and I haven't done YouTube in over a month, just Twitch, and my YouTube started getting hits. Yeah, just the increased traffic. Like I expected the game to do well on launch, but I don't think I don't think I could have anticipated how well it was going to go. And just like how well that reception was. I think they did a really good job of marketing it for that launch, and just overall just their campaign, like that Samuel L. Jackson ad, and just so many things that they did right, that I think I applaud them. I applaud them for the way that they handled the launch. They made sure that nothing went wrong. They didn't push any like big updates that weren't quite ready to try and make sure that everybody had what they wanted. Rocky Road, you said you got to go. I hope that you have a great day. Hope we come up positive on today's stream. I have faith. We're gonna come up positive. We're gonna come up positive by the end of the day for sure. But I think that they did it. They handled the launch very, very well, and I think that sets them up for a lot of good things, and like a lot of growth as far as like adoption and different people trying it out. Which with Marvel Snap, once you try it out, it sinks its teeth in. Like it hooks you right away, and so. I think only great things for the game in the very near future. Revan, I appreciate that you and your viewers are wholesome too. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be where I'm at without the help of a lot of our viewers. I started off and it was very quiet, so even help with like sound and audio, and then layout and. Ron, good morning, first time here. Welcome to the stream. I'm sorry that you joined in for a Mr. Negative stream. We're negative in cubes right now, but we're positive in spirit. And so I'm glad that you are able to jump in, and I'm glad that you're here. I hope that you're having a great day so far, and hopefully we can gain a few cubes for you. But if not, we always have a good time and a good attitude, anyways. So we're going to play a Red Skull. It does get zeroed out. Right now, that helps us win Baxter building. Ooh, depending on what it draws into. Maybe we can get the high roll of the Chavez. Oh my gosh, that is a 1 out of 4 shot for that discard to happen. Anything else we would have lost. Sometimes we take luck. Sometimes we take luck. It wants us to be positive. We are now -1, working our way back up. After the crushing defeat from Q, we're working our way back up slowly. It's okay, I eat that negativity for breakfast. And I mean, negative games are going to happen. I think it's a true showing of the deck and like what it can do. And so, yeah, negativity happens. Some streams, I think I think the one that I ended the most negative was, I think it was like 20 or 25 in the course of an hour. It was a lunch live stream. And I ended like negative 25. And so like it definitely happens. But when it does, you just kind of roll with it. Pilk and Joey, welcome. I'm glad you were able to jump in and join us. I hope that you're having a great day so far. And then Boshab, good evening, sir. Since I played the game at launch, I feel it's impossible to reach a 100. Will it be a tough journey? So rank 100, right? I'm just making sure you're not talking about collection level. Rank 100, it depends. It can be a tough track and a tough journey, depending on what rank you're at. And what you're matching up against. I think finding a good deck list that fits your playstyle can help a lot. And then for me, what helped was switching up cards quite a bit, or switching up decks quite a bit. That way, it didn't start feeling stale, and I was able to kind of adjust from there. But I think you'll be able to get there if it's something that you continue to just improve upon. And be patient. If you try and rush it, a lot of times you'll start losing cubes and get frustrated. But just be patient and enjoy the journey. I think you can get there. It just might take some time. Then Quinn, you said the more successful a single creator gets in Marvel Snap means more viewership potential to the rest of Snap creator community. Yep, you're absolutely right. It's a great way to look at it, because a game that is popular in garnering views for one will of course garner more views for everyone, because it's just people are enjoying it, and so they're seeking out that content. And so yeah, it's absolutely that's absolutely a great way to look at it. I think we play our 0, and then we can play our Typhoid Mary just somewhere out on the board. No, actually, we might do cloning vats, because that will keep the negative bonus. So it's the same thing that we ran into a couple of games ago. So we'll be able to copy the negative, or the abilityless Typhoid Mary. I believe it'll remain abilityless. And then we can actually drop our Dracula or whatever we want to in Dark Dimension as like a sneaky way to push quite a bit of power at the very end. And then Kraken Null, you said Ant-Man trailer is out. Kang is spooky. I need to watch it. I need to watch the trailer at least. So, is Ant-Man where they're like officially introducing Kang? Astros, were you saying link the Ant-Man trailer in the Discord? Watch on stream. Andrew, I don't know how copyright stuff works with YouTube streams. I know with Twitch you can get away with it, but this one stays up for video on demand, and so I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm not sure what like the guidelines for that are. I need to look. So I know that sometimes if you have no, don't do it on YouTube. I know sometimes if you have like React style content, it's fine. But I don't know for sure enough. I don't know sure enough to jump it on there. Would like to see you play at your level with pull 1 decks only. Is it possible to win? Marvel Snap Hero, it is. It's just a little bit tougher. I don't know. It's much tougher of a grind. I've done it. I've done some pull 2. Pull 2 is much more doable. So like the pull 2 video that I released, I think it was on Saturday. For the control pull 2 build, that worked on my Sulky Hulky, which is in pull 3, and it worked on this account. I ran it a little bit just to test it out. And so it can work. It's just a little bit harder. It's not as consistent because it's not quite as strong of a push. Sometimes they can strike you while you're still in stream too. Yeah, and then it just shuts down the whole thing. And I definitely don't want that to happen. So I think we play our Dracula. We can. Do we push our? This is going to be a big lane. I think we already win flooded lane. Maybe we just push Dracula. We throw 0 out onto the board, and then we kind of see. We see if we need to maybe put our 0'd out card here, or maybe we push an Enchantress here. We can push both Angela and Enchantress so that our only targets for Dracula are Red Skull or Chavez, which should be a pretty decent play line. Binks, you were doing it last night. It's very tough. You were doing what? React style stuff? So like you were watching other videos while you were on stream? David, more or less, at what level of collection do you have all of the cards? Between like 2,700 and 32. Oh, pull 1 decks. Oh, sorry, Binks. I don't know why I thought the other. But you should have the full collection by about 2,700 to 3,200. Should be about the range you should expect. So we lose the Captain Marvel lane. If they have something to go wide, they might be able to swing the flooded lane. But let's go ahead and we'll zero out Angela. We'll drop Enchantress just in case somehow they max out the Dark Dimension this turn. And then Dracula will pull into one of these 2 cards. I still think we have a pretty good shot to win. Even if they go wide, it's only like 5. Ooh, okay. We don't need it to... That's really interesting. We don't need it to win. The fact that they stayed with the Aeroplay finisher is interesting. Because odds are, with 2 cards here, we had more than 6 power anyways. And that's all that they were going to be able to push because of that. I mean, we'll take it. That makes us Mr. Positive Streamer. We will absolutely take it. That brings us up to a 3 cube total. And we'll play a couple more. But yeah, Binks, whenever you're doing pull 1 in a max collection like setting, the meta decks, there's not competing against meta decks. So like you don't have your Shang-Chi's. You do have Enchantress, but that's pretty niche. You don't have a lot of like the really big power pushes. A Reclusive Mind. Hey, I didn't miss the whole stream. We're close. We're a little bit over. We'll probably end after maybe 1 or 2 more games. But I'm glad that you were able to jump in and join us for a little bit of it. Chauncey, Facebook has it up, but for some reason I can't find it on YouTube. I'll pull it up on Akaichu. Hey, I'm late. Yeah, you're just a little bit late. That's okay. The good thing about YouTube is that there's the videos on demand right away, and I don't believe there are any ads that get put on it for the first like 12 hours or so. And so you should be able to like skip through and do whatever while whatever YouTube's algorithm for the monetization places ads where it feels appropriate. And so yeah, you should be able to check out the stream. How's Clarice doing, by the way? I looked over to the side because earlier on in the stream she was napping and we were able to see it to the side. You can see her. Yeah, you can still see her a little bit, but before she was facing us. And so she's doing good. She's doing good. She's hanging out on the couch today, like the bestest of girls. So I kind of want to start stacking stuff in Muir Island, but I think we played Ebony Maw into the far left lane. Dude is gonna hurt the Avengers. The replacement Avengers. The current Avengers. I'm not sold on the current state of the Avengers. I'm still catching up on some of the shows. I did finish What If, and I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't really know what to expect going into it, but I thought the ending was phenomenal. I'm not completely sold on the art style of it. But What If ended really, really well. I was excited by the ending. If you haven't seen it, make sure that you sift through the first couple of episodes. You kind of get bought in after that, but at the end, everything is there for a reason. It is very well done. Wakeless Sleeper, what's good? How's it going? I'm glad you're able to jump in and join us. So we're going to play Typhoid Mary into Muir Island because it is zeroed out. After that, we can start stacking stuff into the Isle of Silence. We do have to kind of worry because they ran an Electro, but they can still run multiple cards per turn. And so unless we had a way to move Ebony Maw, we just outright lose the Monster Island lane. So we might as well move something over into Muir Island. And then we can do Red Skull. And then we can play something like Angela and Dracula, or we can do Angela, Dracula. That gives it 2 targets to discard into on that final turn. Or we could just play Chavez outright on the final turn as well. Dad, okay, work is calling. I got a lurk. Probably won't be back before you end the stream, so have a good one, everyone. I appreciate you being here and catching what you could, Dad. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. I hope that the work call goes well, and that they're telling you that you have the rest of the day off paid. And so, if you're not back by the time we end the stream, I appreciate you being here and being a lurker for us. Wakeless Sleeper, what if variants in Snap with new abilities? So like the variant would change the base card. At that point, I think we'd start seeing a lot of people frustrated. Because if a variant, if you needed a particular variant for a particular, like to feel like you had the best version of a deck, yeah, I think people would get pretty upset pretty quick. Because if it's like a 1% chance that it pulls into that, it becomes. Yeah, I think it'd be a point of frustration for a lot of them. Marvel uploaded the Ant-Man trailer. Huge. Can you react to the Ant-Man video after this? I don't know. I don't know about like copyright claims or strikes. I don't know. I want to, but I don't know. If we win this one, we win this one. We will. If we win this one, we'll risk it and we'll do it. But where do we need to play our power? They have more than they have 7 energy they can drop. What are they planning? You think it's too risky to run ads on YouTube to react to trailers? Okay, Snug. I will watch it after the stream, and then I will post my thoughts into do your own research. Yeah, I'll oh no. I think you can edit your videos on demand after your stream. Personal recommendation? I think I'll probably watch it after and just kind of post what I think about it in the Marvel Snap. I think you meant what if there are characters from What If Snap with different abilities, so like Captain Carter and Strange Supreme with completely different abilities. That I think would be cool. I think that would be cool, like having a Captain Carter variant of Captain America and just like some of those like what if characters. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, and so as far as like the monetization piece, I think we're just gonna watch it on the side. Like I want to watch it together, and I know that some of the bigger people are able to do it. I don't know enough about it. I will do some digging so that as more trailers come out, we can enjoy them together. I think a reaction from a recorded video would be okay, but not live streams. So I've seen both. I've seen some of them. I've seen some of them. Yeah, we can do a Discord. We can do a quick Discord like call or stream right after this. But I've seen some of the bigger YouTubers do both live streams, like reacting to other people's live streams, and then reacting to like recorded videos. But I think we're gonna play it safe here. We're gonna do a Discord watch together right after this. I'm gonna find it and we'll jump onto Discord to do a really quick stream. But Debrum, I want to watch the live stream, but work is hammering me. That's okay. I completely understand. We are winding down. We're gonna jump into the Discord. If you guys aren't in the Discord, the link should be just a couple of scrolls above for the Discord link, or in the description below. I'm gonna jump into a quick call over there and react to the Ant-Man trailer, and then I'll jump back over into work mode. And we're gonna actually end the stream negative today, but that is okay. We're ending the stream negative, but positive in spirits. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Broncos guys, thank you for being here. Harry, Astros, Timothy, Kappa, everybody that's here enjoying the stream, Debrum. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope that your Monday goes well, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video or on tomorrow's lunch live stream. And so, as always, this has been TLSG. Later, guys.